All right, we are working on math. All right, we are doing two-digit multiplication. So you see on here, I have a circle and I have a square. And you can see that the squares are represented and the circles are represented. So we're going to start off with the 2. What do we normally do when we do cross multiplication? Owen? 2 times 4 is? 8. So you put 8 here. 2 times 2 is? What is it? 4. All right, so we did the first. Now, when we start the next, the squares, we always put a 0 to start. Do you see that little pink dot? You always put a 0. Now, we are going to do, what is 1 times 4?
4.
What is 1 times 2? So we have extras in case you have more digits. All right, so what do we do now? What do you think we do now? See a little right here? What does that say? What do you do now? You add. So, what is 8 plus 0?
8.
What is 4 plus 4?
8.
Can you all see this in the back?
Yeah.
Okay. And what is 2?
2.
All right. So, essentially, we're cross multiplying but twice. The main thing you have to worry about or think about and remember is this little 0. It kind of marks the spot where you have to switch over a location. So this is always going to be a 0. Then you're going to start the squares. Let's do it some more.
Yay.
So erase. Oh, this is not erasing well. There we go. 2. All right, we are not talking. Are yours erasing okay?
Yeah. Oh, wow.
You. All right, I hear a lot of talking. No. Not right now, please. All right, let's continue. Let's do some more. Let us move to 1A. So, the top is 31. So you put 31 in the triangles. You're going to put 14 in the square and the circle. So we start with the circles first, correct? That is represented down below. The circles go first, and then you do the squares. And you remember the little 0. So what is 4 times 1?
4.
So you put 4 in the first circle. So we are going to move across to that other triangle. So 4 times 3 is?
12.
Oh, so we need to use the other circle.
Yay.
All right, so now what do we do? Key point. Put your what down?
0.
0 in our cute little dotted circle. 0. All right, now what are we going to do? We're going to do the what part of the equation? The circles or the squares? We already did triangles. No, circles and triangles are on top. So many shapes. So we're going to work on the what? M.
The
The square. So here is the square. What is the square that we're using to multiply?
1.
Right, what is 1 times 1?
1.
So you put the 0 down, correct?
Yeah.
So 1. What is 1 times 3?
3.
3. All right, now what do I do?
You
All right, what is 4 plus 0? 4. What is 2 plus 1?
3.
What is 1 plus 3?
4.
So what is our answer? No, 400 and what?
34.
Okay, good. I thought I heard 1. I want another. I'm going to have to take you down for a second. I want to stabilize this a little better so it's not. Is that a little better? All right, let's erase and let's do some more. Does it make sense?
Yes.
Do you find that these little things help?
Yes.
All right, so it's really kind of like a puzzle. You follow the shapes, and you always have to remember to put your 0 as your anchor. Think of it as an anchor. All right, I need to erase. Ooh. Yeesh, I'm gonna have to try to clean this. This is kind of yucky.
If you use a tissue, no.
Yeah, I'll have to do some cleaner. Oh, I lost my magnet. There it is. Thanks. All right, let's move on to B. All right, so the triangles will be 21. The square and the circle will be 12. So 1 and 2. What am I going to do to start? Am I going to work on the circles or the squares first? Caroline, what is 1 time or 2 times 1?
1. 2.
2. Let me get this open. So in the first circle we have a 2. What is 2 times 2?
4.
4. And that's all we're doing. We're not doing anything with this circle. What are we going to do now? Ella. But what are we going to do now? Jeremiah. Yes, the 0. Do not forget the 0. That is crucial. Now, what are we working on, Ella? The square. What is 1 times 1? What is 1 times 2? What is 2 plus 0?
2.
What is 4 plus 1?
5.
Good. What is 2?
2.
So our answer is 252. So is this making sense?
Yes.
Clear as water?
Crystal clear.
Crystal clear water from the Swiss Alps.
It's clear
That might work a little better.
glass with 10 smudges on it.
All right. This seems to work better. Not as gross. All right, now let's move on and do some more. Would anyone like to come up and try one? You can work on the big one up here once I get out of the way. I'm just warning you that it's kind of smudgy. Ugh. And of course I have a white shirt on today. That's why I should never wear white. All right, I'm gonna put the numbers in the triangle and the square and the circle, and then I will call on someone to come on up. We just did this. Oh my, look at all the volunteers. I'm gonna start on this side. McKenna. What are you going to work on first, McKenna?
Circle.
The circle. So 1 times 2 is 2, and 1 times 4 is 4. That is correct. Now what are you going to do? Very good. She's going to put in her little 0. 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 4 is 4. Now what are you going to do, McKenna? Add them. Very, very good. Excellent. 462. Any questions? All right. Very good, McKenna.
This is fine.
Yeah.
It is kind of.
Well, this makes it easier to see. Otherwise, it's kind of like long division with the arrows. The arrows help you in the right direction, where these are giving you a direction to go. Otherwise, it is easy to get the numbers mixed up as far as placement. So this helps you with your placement. All right. Sorry it's taking so long to erase. Let's do one more. So 22 goes in the triangles. 2 and 2. 1 and 2 go in the square and circle. Jeremiah. We could just do this all day.
Yes.
What are you going to do first, Jeremiah?
2 times 2.
That's right. I'm going to do the circles. Good. Now what are you going to do? There you go. Put in your anchor, which is the 0. Think of it as your anchor. You plunk it down before you move forward. What is 1 times 2? There you go. There you go. Ooh. What is 1 times 2? Bless you. Good. Now what are you going to do? There you go. 2 plus 2. Very nice. Little baby numbers. 244. Are you okay? How exactly did that happen? We need to sit, feet on the ground. It's impossible to do exactly what he did if you are sitting correctly. Oh, and you may bring up a straw. We do not goof around during class time. There is no way that can happen unless you're goofing around. Do we goof around during class?
No.
And besides, you could have gotten hurt. Thank you. All right. Now, what I will, let's just have you keep those for the week, okay? And then I will collect them. Please put them in a safe spot. We will work on them more tomorrow. Also, should you be working on these in your book as well?
Yes.
Yes. So good job. I think you all have a pretty good grasp on this. The main thing is remembering your anchor, the 0. Before you go on with the squares, make sure you put your anchor down. That is key. And then proceed with the squares after you do the 0 or the circles. I really have to wash my hands.
I don't know.
They are really gross. And these are dry as dry can be. that up there. Let us move on. Put this here for now. All right, so everyone is comfortable with this?
Yes. Very fun.
It is fun. It's a fun, see, I'm all about visualizing. I like things like this that helps you visualize the different steps. It makes it easier and not as intimidating. All right, we are going to work on some story problems. All right, so Sophia, oh, what an awesome name. Sophia read 4 1/3 chapters of a book about space. Later, she read 6 1/3 chapters. How many total chapters did she read? Okay, so this looks a little intimidating, but what are we doing? We have done this before. I'm going to move this over here. So first of all, what I want you to look at, friends, the fractions. Do they have a common denominator?
Yes.
Okay, so easy peasy. What do you do? This should be in your workspace. How do you finish that up? What is the answer? What are you going to do? You're going to do anything with the denominator? No. So technically you can just move that down right away. What are you going to do with the 1 and the 1, James?
Add it.
What is 1 plus 1?
2.
All right, now what are you going to do? Christian,
4.
what is 6 plus 4?
10.
Very nice. So what initially is like, oh my goodness, what am I supposed to do with this? There's fractions. Take a deep breath and like, oh, first of all, common denominator. So I don't have to do anything with the denominator. And then you just add or subtract, whatever in this case, we are adding because we want to know how many total chapters did she read. So the answer is what? 10 2/3 what? What should be included in the answer? Emma? Yes. Very good. There were 18 children in Jacob's Sunday school class. There were 6 more children in Mason's Sunday school class. How many children were the boys' classes all together? Is this a one phase or 2 phase answer? Jonathan?
2.
Yes. What is the first phase, Jonathan?
18 plus 6.
18 plus 6. That is correct. And Jonathan, what is 18 plus 6 when you're done?
24.
24 is correct. Okay, so we have the first part done. 18 plus 6, 24. Now what are we going to do? Remember to always go back to what? James?
To the first problem.
Yes, the first, well not first sentence. There were 18 children. That is, so you're going to use what? You're going to add 24 with what? Tessa?
18.
That's right. So when you have a multi-phase problem, figure out the first and then go back to the very first number in the story problem. In this case, it is 18. Raise your hand when you are done, so I want to give everybody ample time. Grant, what is the answer?
42.
That's right. And so we have 42, so we have the phases worked out in the workspace. What are we going to put in the answer for the story problem? Helen?
42 children.
Very good. 42 children. Excellent. All right. averages. Now, we are going to move back to page, let's see, where is, turn to 283 in your book, 283. Averaging numbers. The average is the middle value of a group of numbers. So to get the average, you add the numbers, and so you have 97, 95, and 90. Do you all see where I'm working?
Yeah.
I'm on that little box. So you add the numbers, and then you divide the sum. So then you divide 282 by 3. Because there are 3 numbers in the initial problem. You see that? 97, 95, 90, 3 numbers. So if there were 2, then you would divide 282 by 2. If there were 5, you would divide 282 by 5. Do you get that? And then that is your average, the answer. 94 is your average. So let us just go and work on this. Wait, where are we? There we are. All right, so we have, let me get rid of this. I don't want that. Let's just work it, and then it will be less complicated. All right, so we have 48. We have 69. And we have 33. What are you going to do? Add them. And how many are there? Let's keep that in mind too. How many numbers are there that we're adding? 3. Remember that. So what is 8 plus 9 plus 3?
20.
Add carry the 2. What is 4 plus 6?
10.
And then you add 3.
13.
And then you add 2.
15.
All right, so we have 150. All right, so now what am I going to do? Remember, I have to divide 150 by what? What am I going to divide 150 by? Remember, I have this circle for a reason. Why? Wensheen. There are 3 numbers. What does that signify, though? What do we need to do with the number 3? Because there are 3 numbers to find the average. Toby. There you go. Very good. So when we are finding an average, you get a list of numbers. In this case, it's 48, 69, 33. We need to find the average. We add these numbers, we get 150. There are 3 numbers that we're adding. That is what we divide the 150 by. If there are 5 numbers, then you would put 5 here. If there were 100 million numbers, you would put 100 million here. You get it? I'm being silly. But, all right, so what is 150 divided by 3? How many times does 3 go into 15? Owen. How many times does 3 go into 15? Owen. 5 times. 5 times 3 is 15. 50 is our average. The average is the answer of the division problem. Let's try another one. Clear as mud, kind of is.
Clear as mud.
Let's do more. The key, okay friends, the key is how many numbers are in the initial problem. All right, so let's work on B. We have 1,071. And we have 1,079. How many numbers are there? 2. Remember that. So let's add these up. What is 9 plus 1?
10.
What is 7 plus 7?
14.
Plus 1 is?
15.
What is 1 plus 0?
1.
Boy, don't sound too excited. What is 1 plus 1?
2.
2. Okay, so what are we going to do with this answer? We're going to divide it by what?
2.
Exactly. Bingo. Why are we dividing it by 2? Why are we dividing it by 2? How many numbers were in the initial problem? Jonathan?
2.
2. What is the answer here? I want you all to work it out. How many times does 2 go in 2?
1. 1. 1.
Okay, so all right, 1,075 is our average. So you add the initial numbers that you're given. That is what you're going to divide the amount of numbers. Again, if I had, I'm just going to make up a bunch of numbers here. So what would I divide if I had this amount of numbers in the initial adding? Phase, Cole.
4.
Yes. 4. What if I had this amount of numbers I was adding? What would I divide with? Wensheen? 3. So you figure out the initial addition problem, and then it becomes a division problem, and then you have to divide it by how many numbers are in your division problem, and that is your average. Time goes fast. Okay, so let's do one more. Kinda? Eh?
This is a little
Again, it's just getting used to the different steps. I wish I had a visual for you to help, but I don't. Actually, let's move on. We'll work on that more tomorrow. Actually, let's not. I'll get some more. All right, here we go. You can work on these on your whiteboard or a sheet of paper, or we can work on them together for that matter. All right, so what do we see here? How many numbers in the initial phase?
3.
Yes. So what is 7 plus 3?
10.
10 plus 9.
19.
Carry the 1. What is 7 plus 6?
13.
13 plus 4.
17.
Plus 1.
18.
All right, we now know what we're going to divide. We are going to divide this by what? What are we going to divide 189 by? James.
3.
Why are we going to do 3?
Because there's 3 numbers.
That's right. What is 3 divided by, or what is, how many times is 3 going to 18? 6. How many times does 3 go into 9? 3. So 63 is your average. You guys look really confused.
It is.
So, let's do one more. I'm going to do it this way. All right, I don't want to hear you talking. That is telling me you're not focusing. All right, you are given these numbers. What are you going to do with those numbers? Luke.
931 plus 669.
That's right. You're going to add them. What is 9 plus 1?
10.
Just say the answer.
10.
What is 6 plus 3?
9.
Plus 1?
10.
What is 9 plus 6?
15.
Plus 1?
16.
All right, this is what we're going to do our division problem with. What are we going to divide? What are we going to do? 1,600 divided by what? Grant.
2.
Yes, and how did you get that? How did you get 2?
Because there's
2 numbers. All right, very good. So, what is 2, how many times does 2 go into 16?
8.
And then you take up the zeros. And 800 is your average. So the first thing you're going to do, and remember, you have your 2 numbers, or there could be 10, there could be 14, there could be 3. You're going to add them. And then you're going to divide that by your answer of your adding them together. So there's 3 steps. Adding, and then you have to remember how many numbers were you given. In this case, 2. You add, and you divide by that amount of numbers that you initially were given to add. And then that is your average. Okay? No?
Confusing.
We'll work on it some more. It's again working through the stages of the problem.